The apex court of the country has ruled that there will be no re-examination for the NEET undergraduate paper this year. The bench led by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud has emphasized that a retest would have major consequences. The test itself is a mammoth exercise. This year, 23.33 lakh aspiring medical professionals gave the exam, many of whom travelled hundreds of kilometres from hometowns to exam centres. The court noted directing a fresh exam would have serious consequences, including destruction of admission schedule and impact on the availability of medical professionals in the future. However, while delivering the verdict, the court acknowledged that the sanctity of the exam was compromised. While the court noted that data on record is not indicative of a systemic leak of the question paper, it referred to the paper leaks in Patna and Hazaribagh. This ruling, of course, makes it obvious that a major disaster has been averted, yet the paper leak mafia has spread far and wide, not just limited to the NEET examination. We need to weed them out. We need to ensure that this nexus is not affecting any other examination in the future in our country. Joining us live is Ellen Rao, former DCP, Special Delhi Police. We also have Dr. P.S.V. Rao, Consultant Surgeon, Manipal Hospital, Hebbal, Bengaluru, joining us live. Professor Rajendra Pandey, former VC, West Bengal University of Health Sciences, live with us. Charu Mathur, Rewar, Supreme Court also joins us live. Quite a big verdict. Charu Mathur, was this what you were expecting, or were you expecting a re-examination be ordered by the Supreme Court?
See, essentially, once the sanctity was breached, I was thinking that there could be re-examination, or if not the re-examination, at least in those centers where there was a breach, where they have admitted that there was a breach, they must have conducted re-examination at least of those centers, right? And it was very disheartening to know, because I had been approached by both kind of students. Those who wanted re-NEET and many of the innocent candidates who said that why we should suffer because of because the NTA could not conduct the examination properly. And if you look at how intensive this coaching industry has become, that these kids, if they had re-NEET to happen, these people would not have got a place to practice their mock examination. So the issue was tough on both the sides. But once the sanctity of examination has been breached, when you are admitting that, then it is a big blot on our education system, the way we are conducting examination. And these things are happening year by year. Every year these things are happening. For every season, for every session, these things are happening. And with the advancement of technology that we have, we can certainly stop this leak. And kinds of evidence that has come, that you are actually putting the papers on an e-rickshaw and taking from one place to another. I mean, that shows us that we are not even becoming a developing country. We have all the means. The only thing that is required is will to curb them.
Absolutely.
So, in a way,
and that's something that the Supreme Court has also said, Charu Mathur. They've acknowledged that obviously in certain centres, integrity was compromised, and that's something that the police now needs to work on earnestly, and the CBI, of course, in their investigation.
Yeah, but they should take some action now. Once they said that there is a breach at that particular section, do something about that.
Okay.
And this is not the thing for every question. Now again, they have to retally this thing. The exam, the question that they have asked is of the 8th standard level about that. The question in physics which was there for which the committee of IIT Delhi directors was formulated. So even when the examination papers are set, things should be put in order then and there. Why for every examination students have to approach court, say that please get this examination, this question checked, appoint an expert committee. No examination get conducted, and everybody that conducts the examination, they collect some across more than 100 crores in fees from the students. Right? So they should have this responsibility of conducting the things in a timely manner. It is too much of a stress on the students as well as on parents.
Let me, in fact, quickly bring in Ellen Rao as well. Ellen Rao, of course, while the Supreme Court has not ordered a complete re-examination, but through the hearing, of course, it is very evident that in certain centres, the sanctity of the exam was compromised. In this light, then, how important is it that we get to the bottom of what happened and that the guilty are punished, and all the guilty are punished, whoever was part of this nexus?
Yeah, so this is really unfortunate, and then I was listening to Charu Mathurji. Definitely, both sides are being looked into, and Honorable Supreme Court also very logically stated that no doubt there was a breach of in the examination, but they also were thinking about the future of 23 lakhs of students. Then in that manner, and so far as the investigation is concerned, that investigation is being carried out. It's being carried out by CBI, and I think so many people have been arrested in this case, and the logical conclusion will be arrived when the complete investigation is finalized, and after that, evaluating the evidence of against each and every person, and having the documentary evidence as well as other evidences are collected by CBI, then charge sheet will be filed. But that only filing a charge sheet will not be a solution. Real solution lies in the willpower of the government and the authorities like the examination conducting authority, NTA, and other stakeholders, that in future these type of breaches should be stopped at all, because it pays a huge amount of tension, a huge amount of money and other pressures on the minds of the students and their parents. So if we are considering that we are a developing country running heading towards a 5 billion economy, then this type of breaches in the examination of this such highly qualification of professional examinations, then definitely we will be having some blame in the worldwide. So that it's a high time that the government should make such a stricter rules. No doubt the law has been changed, and the law is there in that implementation of law, and the persons who are responsible doing all these things, they should be identified, and stricter action should be taken before it. The prevention is better than cure. After doing all these things, then we are beating about the bush by doing investigations, all these things, that why it should not have been prevented in the beginning, and that leak could have been averted. That should be, the mechanism should be devised by by our government and the examination conducting authorities.
Yes. Okay, let me in fact take that across to Dr. PSV Rao as well. Dr. PSV Rao, after the Supreme Court's order and the way the hearing is panned out, what were your observations on the hearing? And also, do you believe now it is imperative that the nexus is weeded out so that this is a situation and scenario that doesn't repeat next year?
Good evening, Uday, and the panelists and viewers. I had written in the Sunday Guardian soon after the NEET broke out. I have been examiner both in India, and now I am examiner for the British. Plus, I have been in the World Congresses sitting multiple choice question papers. I closely examined the entire chain from the setting of the questions to the final exams, and found one weak link. The rest of the chain is strong. There is one weak link. What they are doing is they are having a hybrid of the initial part of the chain is all digitized and very, very secure, at least from what I can make out. And the real weak point, after the paper is printed also, they have a strong mechanism. The weak point is the printing of the paper. And they are using local printers from what I have gathered, and that is where the leak occurs. So what I had suggested in my article, that was 3 weeks back, 2-3 weeks back, was that they should send a encrypted, secure question paper to each center on the morning of the exam, because and get printers. Now all these printers in each of these examination center to then print out the paper and give to the paper. This will, the reason why they don't have it completely digitized is then they will have to give computers to each person and ensure that it is true, that it shouldn't be hacked. That is a problem they have. So instead of doing that, and instead of having a totally paper-based this thing, this is a way they can sort it out. The weak point is the printing press. And the printing press is all various local printing press. It is not a security press where it is printed in one place. It is printed in a decentralized way. So in Hazaribagh or Patna, we don't know who was doing the printing and who leaked the paper. So the way out, I feel, and this is not only with NEET, it is happening with other exams also, as we are seeing. So the way I would suggest is you send an encrypted copy of the question paper to each exam center and have it printed out just as the exam is beginning, so that each one have the exam. This will also solve the problem they had in Haryana, where they had sent a set of papers to the State Bank of India locker and another to the Canara Bank locker. And when one turned out to be a wrong set, they then brought the other set, and then they had to give extra, there was a time loss, to which they gave grace marks. So all this can be solved that way. One. Second, as far as the Supreme Court verdict is concerned, I welcome it, because conducting such a massive exam on a large scale is time consuming and problematic. So if the leak has occurred only in some places, and they have tried to reconduct the exam for these people, and found that most of them never turned up for the exam, those who turned up got very far lesser marks than they were otherwise getting. So if you can identify who are all the beneficiary students, and if you have managed to conduct an exam and they have not turned up for the exam, I think you have managed to sequestrate and wall off that set. And I actually welcome what the Supreme Court has done, rather than completely upsetting the whole schedule and delaying everyone's selection.
Okay. Yes. At the end of the day, of course, also, we have seen serious, irregularities in certain centers. What steps now need to be taken? Charu Mathur, as you were saying earlier, you would have hoped that the Supreme Court would have ordered certain steps, but now that has not, come as part of this order, at least yesterday. What steps should be taken by the government and by authorities to ensure that it is no deja vu next year?
So this is only an order, immediate order that they have passed. The detailed order will follow, detailed judgment will follow. But as far as guidelines are concerned, and if you see that litigation that is coming to courts is related mostly to NEET examination, whether it is NEET UG, NEET PG, NEET special exam, SS, which they call specialties post for which they go, or for any other. So there is some problem lying somewhere here. UPSC has been conducting examination for years together. We don't find any kind of leak there, right? They have been doing it with or without technology. I don't know what is the right methodology they are applying. Even for your IIT JEEs, there is not such a deep kind of that paper leakage or things like that. Paper leaks is happening for your local examination or for your NEET examination. So that has to be looked into. Why do you have to go for physical printing at the local press? You can ship it. And one thing that I find is that if the examination to conduct the examination is the duty of the government, if it was the duty of the agency, NTA, then it should take the entire responsibility of shipping the question papers properly at their respective centers. They are doing it at 571 cities. They are doing it 50,000 or whatever odd number of the centers are there. It is their responsibility to ship the papers properly. Why do you have to involve so many people in the chain? They have to look into the procedure, because from the examination, this is one examination of NEET. Like for the railway examination, I was told that around 8,000 crore odd rupees was collected in the fees only by some people. So if they are charging heavily, and these exams doesn't come cheap, right? UPSC charge only 100 rupees for a form and there is no leak. These people for many examination like LAT and all, they charge 4,000 rupees. Yet there are problems that are coming. So they have to, buck has to stop with NTA if it is going to conduct the examination. Right? You have all the technology involved, but you have to use your basic common sense key, what to do so that matter does not reach, there is no leak and the papers reach intact. So this is my suggestion, and they can always check it. If there is a will, then they can act. And now things have become so blown out of proportion. I'm very sure that government will be very proactive in ensuring that sanctity of exam is preserved. It is not that government doesn't want this to be repeated or anything. They want this to curb examination leak, and if they have an idea how to go about it, they will certainly.
Dr. Rao, do you believe after this the politics should also end? we should work together rather than now scream at each other after this Supreme Court verdict?
Uday, politics always complicates matters. Leave it to the experts to sort this problem out. It had, what Charu said just now, this problem is also there in other exams. And this, if you are going to conduct a national exam of such high repute with so many people competing for it, you can be sure every crook in town will be trying to make money on it.
Okay.
When you have got so many people applying for so few seats, the long-term solution to this is to increase the number of seats to so much that the competition is not so severe, and hence the crooks don't have the attention for it, because they can. At the same time, I feel that whoever
That's a good
been
suggestion.
involved in this
That's a good
application-
suggestion. Increase seats so that, of course, at the end of the day, there is no opportunity for these criminals to contact students and lure them away. Ellen Rao, last word to you, 30 seconds.
One more thing I want to add it in that this traditional method of printing these newspapers should be done away with, and most important is that the persons who have been caught in this case, they should be tried as soon as possible after completion of the investigation, after collecting very strong evidence against them, and they should not be spared at all, and the law should take, so that the other people should learn a lesson that they will not be spared at all.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.